And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you. Akwaba. Welcome. Welcome to another round of Culturally Conscious Communications here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, here on livinginblack.com. My name is Keedy Wado, aka The Conscious Rasta. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern time. We get together with you and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives. We deal with entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Monday. It is the second day of June, 2024 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6265, 2025 in the Western calendar, 6265 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we've realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the seventh millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, here on livinginblack.com. Bear with me, everybody, as I tune into the program today. There are so many things going on in a short period of time to get everything up and running. And what happens is my brain goes on automatic. So if you hear me give the wrong calendar year or the wrong date, my brain is on another sentence. But I am not stupid. Today, we're going to be talking about people who are stupid. What we're going to be talking about is a chemical that few of us really even pay attention to, called BDNF. It's actually a protein, BDNF, that stands for Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor. That's going to be the subject for today's program. Let me give you an introduction to today's show. Today on LIB Radio, Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor, BDNF, is a crucial protein involved in brain health, learning, and memory. A member of the neurotrophin family, BDNF supports neuron growth, survival, and plasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and reorganize itself. It plays a vital role in synaptic plasticity, enhancing the connections between neurons, essential for cognitive function and emotional regulation. BDNF is highly active in brain regions responsible for learning and memory, promotes neurogenesis, the formation of new neurons, and strengthens existing ones. Low levels of BDNF have been associated with neurological and psychiatric disorders, including depression, Alzheimer's, and schizophrenia. Conversely, higher BDNF levels are linked to improved mood, cognitive function, and resistance to neurodegenerative diseases. Today, let's learn more about this critical protein and what we can do to increase its functioning across society. So that is the subject of today's show. We do welcome you, our listening audience, to be a part of the conversation today. We encourage your contribution. We encourage you to share with us, because this is the people's university here. This is not just my university. And I do admit I learn a lot at LIB Radio every day. I do my best, but we do encourage each and every one of you to maximize what you get from LIB Radio. And I tell you, on a topic like today, you're going to learn very important information. I started studying BDNF maybe 15, 20 years ago. And you know something? I'm still studying it because I realize that as I increase my BDNF, my mind as a computer continues to generate more computing power. Got frozen in the middle of a sentence there. As I was searching for the next words to say, I'm thinking about how BDNF affects my mind. So I do believe you are going to learn something very important today. Let's get into this research that I have pulled together. Several lifestyle factors influence BDNF production. Regular exercise, particularly aerobic activities, significantly boost BDNF levels, enhancing brain function and emotional well-being. Diet also plays a critical role. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, polyphenols, and antioxidants support BDNF synthesis. Additionally, proper sleep and stress management contribute to optimal BDNF levels, reducing the risk of cognitive decline. BDNF also influences neuroprotection by reducing oxidative stress and inflammation. This makes it a critical factor in recovery from brain injuries and neurodegenerative diseases. Scientists are exploring ways to harness BDNF's potential for therapeutic applications, including treatments for depression and cognitive disorders. Now, I'm going to give you a warning in a little bit. I'm going to give you a very serious warning of what to look out for, because when they added that sentence, scientists are exploring ways to harness BDNF's potential for therapeutic applications. Yes, you know what that means. Drugs. But it's even worse. Worse than just drugs to enhance your BDNF. They're talking about synthesizing brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and also gene editing to increase your BDNF accessibility or availability. And with that gene editing, you can very likely expect a vaccination to appear within the next 20 years. I predicted a vaccine to appear within the next 20 years, which will deliberately increase the BDNF of those injected. But I do not believe in the mRNA vaccines. We'll talk about that in a little bit. BDNF also enhances, in essence, BDNF is a key player in maintaining brain health and function. Its role in neural growth and adaptation makes it an essential target for research in aging, mental health, and neurodegeneration. Understanding how to optimize BDNF levels through lifestyle choices, I want you to understand, let that sink in. Understanding how to optimize BDNF through lifestyle choices may hold the key to a sharper, healthier mind throughout life, and through, I would say, through sharper, healthier minds, plural, across society. So let me repeat. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor is a crucial protein involved in brain health, learning, and memory. It belongs to the neurotrophin family, which supports neuron growth, survival, and plasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and reorganize itself. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor plays a vital role in synaptic plasticity, enhancing the connections between neurons, which is essential for cognitive function and emotional regulation. BDNF is highly active in brain regions responsible for learning and memory, such as the hippocampus, cortex, and basal forebrain. BDNF promotes neurogenesis, the formation of new neurons, and strengthens existing ones. Low levels of BDNF have been associated with neurological and psychiatric disorders, including depression, Alzheimer's disease, and schizophrenia. Conversely, higher BDNF levels are linked to improved mood, cognitive function, and resistance to neurodegenerative conditions. So that is an introduction to today's program. I have an immense amount of research on my desk, probably way more than I will be able to express in about, today was probably going to be significantly more than an hour, but I'm going to do the best I can to get it in. Let's go once again from a different search engine. What is brain-derived neurotrophic factor? In fact, well, I'll show you. I'm going to go to my PowerPoint in just a little bit. What is BDNF? It's an acronym for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Please do remember that. It is a protein produced in high quantities in the central nervous system. It plays a part in regulating the structure, function, and development of the neurons and synapses that form your brain's internal communication network. While BDNF levels are highest in childhood, when the brain is rapidly developing, it remains a key player in the adult brain. It is responsible for neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to grow and form new connections, and for your long-term memory. Why should you be interested in BDNF? BDNF levels naturally fall as across your lifespan, causing a decline in memory and cognition. While all individuals experience lower levels of BDNF as they age, people with Alzheimer's disease have been shown to have significantly lower levels compared to healthy individuals. Fortunately, you have the power. You have the power. You have the power to increase your BDNF production naturally, holistically, and naturally through diet and lifestyle choices. If you care about your cognitive health, then BDNF should be on your radar. If you care about your cognitive health, BDNF should be on your radar. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just double check and see if there's anybody checking in with me today. Shabaka is in the house. He says, greetings, fellow watchers. I'm looking forward to learn something new and useful. Brother Shabaka, you have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio. And I send greetings to you, Brother Shabaka. If you haven't already, could you please hit the like button for today's broadcast? And if you can, please do. We're going to be on for a little while. Send the link out on your Facebook page or social media page, Instagram, however you contact other people on the internet. Send this link out. Maybe we'll be joined by a much larger audience on this incredibly useful subject here today. BDNF, I'll drink to that. That's cucumber water, y'all. It's cooling, it's refreshing, and it adds to my manufacture of BDNF protein. Yes, it does. I'm going to continue, and we welcome all of you to this family today. You are in a wonderful place. So, 10 foods that increase BDNF. And we got a lot of strategies today. So, these are 10 foods. If you want to improve your memory, cognition, and neuroplasticity, then incorporate the following 10 BDNF boosting foods into your diet. Number one, green tea. Look for the one sourced from Japan, not China. Most Chinese green tea has been found to be contaminated with lead. 2, blueberries. Choose organic, wild blueberries whenever possible. Wild blueberries have a higher BDNF boosting antioxidant content, and organic blueberries may have fewer toxins from pesticides or soil contaminants used in cultivation. So that's number 2. Number 3, red grapes. Organic, dark colored grapes will give you all the benefits of resveratrol and other polyphenols with less pesticide residues than conventionally grown grapes. That's number 3. Number 4, olive oil. Go for cold pressed, extra virgin olive oil. This comes from olives that have been minimally processed, preserving more phytonutrients. You will know you bought a good one if the oil is a dark gold with a slightly green tint and it smells earthy. Some brands will even list their phytonutrient content on the bottle, which can be a good indicator that they care about giving you something high quality. That's number 4, olive oil. Number 5, soy. Organic whole or fermented soy products, organic it said, are associated with positive health benefits. So choose these. Non-organic soy may contain harmful additives, damaging pesticide residues, and genetically modified fats. So you're choosing whole, organic, or fermented soy products. Number 6, dark chocolate. Cacao contains the nutrients that increase BDNF. So choosing a 100% cacao chocolate is your best bet to get all the benefits this food has to offer. 100% cacao content. That's only in the powder, cocoa powder. Get your cocoa powder from a fair trade source company. Please do. Number 7, turmeric. The polyphenol increase your BDNF. If you choose to add turmeric to your foods or beverages, be sure to black pepper and a fat source. These both maximize the amount that your body absorbs. I know yesterday I made a pot of black beans. They were cooked, of course. But yes, I do add turmeric, ground freshly coconut oil to the pot of black beans. And look at me today. Fit, fine, and ready to wine. That's what I'm talking about. Number 8, fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, and anchovies, sardines, and herring. DHA, a type of omega-3 fat found in these fish, is what increases your BDNF. Look for wild caught on the label. Look for wild caught on the label. I don't eat fish, but should you wish to increase your BDNF levels, eating fish is one way of doing it, but you must look for wild caught on the label to ensure you get fish with the healthiest fat content and the less toxins. That's why I don't eat fish. I know there is toxins in all seafood, which is why you have to cook it. People who don't eat seafood, like me back when I was a heathen, people who do eat seafood, like when I was a heathen, I don't mess with it now because the last time I ate oysters raw, yeah, they got me, made me sick as a dog. That's because there were bacteria in the oysters. I don't have the energy to risk getting that sick again. So that's fatty fish. And number 9 on this list is the coffee. The caffeine in coffee has been shown to increase your brain-derived neurotrophic factor. But you have to be careful to choose a coffee that is not contaminated with heavy metals, mycotoxins, or mold. Many brands now share information about their sourcing and what they test for in their coffee. So visit the website of brands you see in your store to see which can provide you with the cleanest coffee, or ask your Amos Institute dietitian for a recommendation. And of course, I've been getting this information from the Amos Institute. It's a very, very good organization, and I have it up on my desk. Let me see if I can find it. Amos Institute, it's up here somewhere. Fact check. Oh, I just wanted to send this out today too. Fact check. There has been rumors, and more rumors, and YouTube is notorious now for misinforming people about Africa. So the rumors of a coup d'etat that have been talked about in Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, here's what the fact check says. This is from Reuters News Service. Fact check. Months old Ivory Coast shopping mall fire clip falsely portrayed as a May coup by Reuters fact check. That's dated May 29, and it's updated just a couple of days ago. So the coup d'etat that's been reported in Ivory Coast, never could confirm it. I tried several times over the course of 5 days to confirm it. It did not happen. So don't send me any more of those YouTube emails, please, if you can. We've fact checked it several times, and Reuters is as good a news service as there is to confirm this. I'm double checking. I do see my brother Nguvu is in the house. He says, Sawubona. I love blueberries and okra, water. Great knowledge base being talked about today. Yes, organic is the way to go. Yes, yes, yes. And Shabaka is in the house. He says, look forward. I will do. And great to have you in the house, Brother Shabaka. And Brother Nguvu, great to have you in the house. What a beautiful name as well. Shabaka and Nuvu. Got the Afrocentric crew in the house today. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button. We'd love to know you are in the house today. We continue, and we're not talking about a fake coup in Cote d'Ivoire. We're talking about all of these different ways to improve our neurotrophic factor, and I'm looking for the website they mentioned, and I get a lot of sources up here today. So we're going to do the best we can to share them all, but not one of them is the one that I was looking for. So let me continue with my paper, and then I'm going to go to these external sources that we have up here. There's, like I say, there's more than enough information. Lifestyle practices that boost BDNF. Number one, intermittent fasting. Practicing intermittent fasting, limiting your intake of food to a smaller window of time each day rather than grazing from morning till night, reduces the production of inflammatory molecules that lower your BDNF levels. By giving your body time to rest and repair rather than work to digest food all day long, you can increase your cognitive function. Intermittent fasting. I'm very proud to say, yes, that is the practice that I engage. Number two, exercise. Any form of exercise that boosts your heart rate leads to increased BDNF levels. If you are able to engage in some form of cardio, it will have benefits for your brain. That's number two. Number three, sun exposure. BDNF levels rise and fall with the seasons. They are naturally higher during spring and summer, but lower in the fall and winter. Try to get outside each day, even if it's only for a 10-minute stroll around your block to get a bit of sunshine on your skin. That's great advice. Number four, sleep. Deep sleep is beneficial because it helps you rest and repair. This is also when your body naturally releases more BDNF. Ensure you get adequate sleep to boost your body's BDNF producing power. Number five, manage your stress. Stress reduces BDNF. So find any sort of personal practice that helps you manage your stress level. This can improve your cognitive health. Water fasting. During a 3-day water fast, your body increases production of BDNF during the 18th and 24th hours, which steadily increases throughout the second day. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you, our listening audience, exactly what they are talking about. So I'm going to go to Studio, I'm going to go to StreamYard, and I'm going to turn on my share to stage. And this is part of a slide presentation that I put together on this subject of BDNF. I'm only going to show a couple of slides. I do see you in the house. Rhonda is in the house. She says, Uja, aw. And great to have you today, Rhonda. Great to have you and the two brothers with me today. It is an honor. It is a pleasure. It is a joy to be of service to you because you truly are a grateful people for which I am honored to have you in the family. So I'm going to show a couple of panels of this. I've got this pulled up, just a couple of panels. Where is it? It's over here. And we're going to talk about water fasting. This begins to happen on day 2. On the second day of water fasting, there is a steady increase in brain-derived neurotrophic factor and human growth hormone. There's also an increase of autophagy, meaning your body getting rid of old senescent cells and replacement of senescent cells. There is also a decrease in certain destructive proteins, tau, amyloid, Lewy body dementia, alpha-synuclein, primed glial cells. All of these are related to post-traumatic stress disorder, concussions, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's. There is mitophagy, or it's same as autophagy, but mitophagy, insufficient mitochondrial functioning, is overcome. Insulin resistance decreases as there is no adiposity to correct. A decrease of fatty liver as fat cells convert to ketones. And the end of the second, or on day 2 of the water fast, and this is actually an extension of what's happening at the end of day 1. I'm going to go to the previous panel in just a second, but is 90 to 95% of energy comes from ketones, converted fat cells, instead of glucose. And hunger pains decrease. The brain no longer facilitates the distraction of hunger pangs. Now, I do have to go to the previous file, which I should have started on, which has the word autophagy in it. Is no BDNF in it, BDNF. And yeah, here it is. In the last 6 hours of your first day of your water fast, there's the depletion of glycogen, reserve energy stored in the liver and muscle tissues, gluconeogenesis, energy created in the liver as ketones. Your body is now converting adipose tissue to ketones, which become your primary energy source. Number 3, increase of autophagy, which means self-eating. You remove debris, recycle cellular parts, and maintain optimal cell function. Decreased autoimmunity. When the immune system mistakenly attacks the body's own tissues, that starts to decline very seriously at the end of your first day of a 3-day water fast. Decreases neuroinflammation, brain inflammation. Creates your brain hybrid. Neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to rewire itself. And again, that neuroplasticity comes up quite a bit when we are talking about the impact of brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Increased brain-derived neurotrophic factor, memory and learning, and human growth hormone, HGH, for cell rejuvenation. And you start to see ketones and the residues in the blood. The blood analysis shows evidence of ketosis, the burning fat cells for energy production. And then it goes on to the second page, which I intended to show you secondly, but it just continues. A steady increase in BDNF and HGH, increase of autophagy and replacement of senescent cells. You saw this panel already. And so there you go. That's a pretty good one, if you ask me, of what we expect on the second day of our detox fast. So I'm going to stop that screen. We're going to go forward. Let's deal with some technical stuff. Now, I'm only going to spend just a couple minutes on this technical stuff. This is very, very important for my sake, because I teach this, and I'm going to be more well informed on this as I teach it. So bear with me. There's a few paragraphs of how our body makes brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And I do say, Shabaka is in the house. He said, I am eating my fresh blueberries every day now. Loving it. That's great information, Brother Shabaka. I highly recommend to anyone and everyone, especially those of us over 50 years old, we get the blueberries in every day if possible. If not every day, then every other day we should be consuming blueberries. Good job. Good job, man. Going forward, the technical stuff. This comes from Brave. This is BDNF protein production. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor is a protein that plays a crucial role in neuronal survival and growth, serving as a neurotransmitter modulator and participating in neuronal plasticity, which is essential for learning and memory. BDNF is synthesized in the endoplasmic reticulum, ER, as a 32 to 35 kDa precursor protein, pro-BDNF, that moves through the Golgi apparatus and the trans-Golgi network. Yeah, it's going to get a little technical. In the presence of lipid raft associated sorting receptor carboxypeptidase, CPE, pro-BNF is sorted by vesicles and subsequently transported into activity-dependent secretion by postsynaptic dendrites. The terminal domain of pro-BDNF is cleaved by a distinct protein convertase enzyme to form a 13 kDa biologically active mature BDNF, that is mature BDNF, MBDNF. Now, also it talked about this is manufactured in the endoplasmic reticulum. That's a word which is very important because I came across that a few days ago. Let me just reconfirm what is endoplasmic reticulum. What is endoplasmic reticulum? And it's coming up right now. Endoplasmic reticulum, a network of membranous tubules within the cytoplasm of a eukaryotic cell. Continuous with the nuclear membrane, it usually has ribosomes attached and is involved in protein and lipid synthesis. So the endoplasmic reticulum is inside each cell. Endoplasmic reticulum. It's a network of membranes that are coterminous with the outer nuclear membrane in eukaryotic plasma, that cytoplasm, that form a network of tubular channels, often expanded into cisternae. So that's just a brief explanation of it. We could go further into it, but I didn't want to leave you too far behind. Again, this is the technical stuff. I got about a few more paragraphs. The BDNF is a member of the neurotrophin factor of growth factors. Remember, there's HGH, which comes along with it when we're doing our 3-day water fast, which also includes nerve growth factor, NGF, neurotrophins 3, NT3, NT4 and 5, and NT6. Each neurotrophin consists of a non-covalently linked homodimer with a single peptide following the initial codon and a pro region containing an N-linked glycosylation site. Glycosylation, that's glycosylation. Same word. Glycolysis is how we synthesize glycogen from the fat. The BDNF gene provides instructions for making the BDNF protein and is widely expressed in the central nervous system, gut, and other tissues. It binds to its highly affinitive receptor, TRKB, which stands for tyrosine kinase B. That's an enzyme. The enzyme activating signal transduction cascades, IRS1 and 2, P13K, AKT. These are crucial for CREB and CRP production, which encode proteins involved in beta cell survival. So in what we just read in just that one paragraph, it shows you how BDNF is linked to our gut microbiome, It is linked to the central nervous system. It is involved in CREB and CPB production, which encode proteins involved in beta cell survival. So both of those, or all of that, is related to immune system function. That's awesome. This is a pretty awesome chemical we have discovered today, BDNF. This is more than I have ever learned in life about BDNF. I'm going to continue with how is it manufactured. The BDNF gene provides instructions. I read that paragraph. BDNF transcription, it's an enzyme, is controlled by 8 different promoters, each leading to a different transcript containing one of 8 untranslated 5 exons, 1 through 8, spliced to the 3-minute encoding exon, promoting IV activity, intravenous activity, leading to the translation of exon 4 containing mRNA. Is strongly stimulated by calcium and is primarily under the control of a Cree regulatory component, suggesting a positive role. Don't go nowhere. Stay with me. Where you at? Come back. Suggesting a positive role, not positive, suggesting a putative role for the transcription factor of CREB and the source of BDNF's activity-dependent effects. When the NMDA receptor is activated, it triggers a calcium influx, which through a protein signaling cascade involving ERK, calcium MARC2 and MARC4, P13K, and PLC can trigger BDNF exon 4 transcription. 2 more paragraphs, sorry. BDNF is released from this postsynaptic membrane in an actively dependent manner, allowing it to act on local TRKB receptors and mediate efforts that can lead to signaling cascades also involving ERK and calcium MARC2 4. The human BDNF gene consists of 11 exons, and distinct BDNF transcripts are produced through the use of alternative promoters and splicing events. The majority of the BDNF transcripts can be detected not only in the brain, but also in the blood cells. Now, that was complicated. Let's pause, take a breath. Let's bring everybody back to the conversation. Because other than the fact of realizing your body does all this and you don't even think about it. Now, think about that for a second. Think about the complexity of a machine that does all this. You don't even have to think about it, except for you have to avoid destroying your body's ability to do all this. All of this complex calculation and ERKs and CA Mark II and Mark IV, P113K, all of that stuff going on. You don't have to think about it. But you do have to think about this. That is taking place in every one of your trillions of brain cells. And it is taking place in all of your blood cells as well. The human body is the most miraculous machine we can ever think of. All of that activity, from just how to make just BDNF, is taking place simultaneously in every one of your 50 trillion cells. Now, once we see that all in context, wow, what a miracle. Why would I not preserve this miracle for optimal functioning throughout my entire life? I think it would be a good thing to preserve this miracle. Rhonda writes, joining in from the Spice Island of Grenada, going to go get my infusion of Ra. Rhonda, you did not need to tell me that. Mm, 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 mm. That's beautiful, Rhonda. That is so beautiful. I'm so happy for you. You deserve it. No doubt. You definitely do deserve it. So, congratulations, Grenada. What a beautiful, beautiful place to be. Mm, mm, mm. I hope you do take lots of photographs and you can find a way to share them with your brother. I'd love to be there with you. Congratulations. We're going to go back to the research we have at hand. Did your brain get a chance to unwind after all of that? I hope you did. One more, and let me just double check to make sure all of the messages got. And are we up here on Rumble? And I see, okay, I did get all of those comments in. And we do continue with our broadcast for today. We are talking about BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And let's just continue with the drive. The theme for the program today is top strategies to boost your BDNF. I think you see now why we are going for the top strategies to boost our BDNF. So I'm going to go back into my paper. We did, oh, I'm skipping that. This is the same thing I just finished, but from Copilot and not from, the first one was from Brave. I then went through a second one of where does BDNF protein produced in the body, and I did it a second time, and I'm not going to read that. It does. Let me give you just the last two paragraphs. BNF is released from the postsynaptic membrane in an actively dependent manner, allowing it to act on local TRAC-B receptors and mediate effects that can lead to signaling cascades also involving ERK and CA Mark II and 4. The human BDNF gene consists of 11 exons, and distinct BDNF transcripts are produced through the use of alternative promoters and splicing events. The majority of the BDNF transcripts can be detected not only in the brain, but also in the blood cells. So that takes us through that whole dialogue. I'm going to save that, and we're going to go over here. And I did have time. This is perfect timing for today's show. I do have a number of other sources for this information. This one is, I have this up on my Microsoft Copilot. I asked it the question, list 12 important points about the protein BDNF, including its manufacture inside the body. Well, I don't need to repeat that. Here are 12 important points about brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Number one, it's a member of the neurotrophin family, neurotrophin family. BDNF is one of several neurotrophins that do support the survival, development, and function of neurons, making it vital for brain health. Number two, synthesis in the brain. It is predominantly produced in key brain regions, such as the hippocampus cortex and basal forebrain, critical areas critically involved in learning, memory, and higher cognitive functions. Precursor formation. BDNF is initially synthesized in a precursor protein called preprotein BDNF in the endoplasmic reticulum. This precursor undergoes modification and cleavage to form pro-BDNF and finally the mature active BDNF protein. Number 4, activity-dependent production. Neuronal activity influences BDNF gene transcription and subsequent protein synthesis. Activity-dependent release means that the brain can adjust BDNF levels on stimulation and experience. That's a very key critical thing. Our mind has control over matter. Role in synaptic plasticity. BDNF is essential for synaptic plasticity, the process that underlies learning and memory by strengthening the communication between nerve cells. Its interaction with receptors. Once released, mature BDNF binds to its high affinity receptor, TrkB, it's TRKB, I should say, tropomyosin receptor kinase B, tropomyosin receptor kinase B, which activates intracellular signaling cascades that promote neuronal health and growth. Neuroprotective events. Bear with me. I'm going to do the best I can to read what's on the paper. Neuroprotective events. BDNF protects neurons from oxidative stress and apoptic signals, supporting long-term cell survival and function, especially following injury or stress. Number 8, regulation of neurogenesis. It stimulates the generation of new neurons, particularly in the hippocampus, thereby playing a crucial role in maintaining cognitive flexibility and brain resilience. That's for those of us who are aging. Doesn't mean we have to lose our brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Influence from lifestyle. Number 9, factors such as aerobic exercise, a balanced diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants, and proper sleep can boost BDNF levels, enhancing mental health. And I'm just going to copy, cut, and paste that one because as complicated as it is, this is just what we need to do on the base level to maintain our BDNF production. So I'm going to copy, cut, and paste this. This is number 9. And this is talking about what we can do to preserve, enhance, and boost our BDNF production. It's very, very important. And I'm going to paste this also up on my Facebook page, which I haven't been pasting on my Facebook page. But if you are listening from the Facebook page, I hope I could ask you, would you put the links up? There's only one person of recent that's even done that. And that is my brother Alpha the Alchemist, Brother Lim. And I miss you, Brother Lim. I really do. If I never told you how much I appreciated the work that you do for your LIB radio family, then I do owe you an apology for not letting you know how much you mean to us for all the service you've done to us in the past. I'm so grateful. So I just put up that link on there, and I'm going to go and I'm going to put this up in a couple more places, but I've done that for right now. So what am I looking at? We're going to go through and I'm going to share with you some of the research that I have gathered for today. I have a number of articles. I'm going to put these up on Facebook only. Maybe I'll put them up. I'll put the link up on Rumble And I'm going to put this also up on Facebook, so you will be able to see the title from it as well. And so that title will show up. This is from nelifesciences.org, and it talks about exercise promotes the expression of a brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, through the action of the ketone body beta hydroxybutyrate. Now that was a little complicated, but we're going to get into what does that mean. Here's what it has to say. And again, this is written by Salma F. Sleeman et al. This is from the journal eLife, and this is on cell biology. The abstract: exercise increases beneficial responses in the brain, which is accompanied by an increase in BDNF, a tropic factor associated with cognitive improvement and the alleviation of depression and anxiety. However, the exact mechanisms whereby physical exercise produces an induction in brain BDNF gene expression are not well understood. While pharmacological doses of HDAC inhibitors exert positive effects on BDNF gene transcription, the inhibitors represent small molecules that do not occur in vivo. Here we report that an endogenous molecule released after exercise is capable of inducing key promoters of the musculus BDNF gene. The metabolite beta hydroxybutyrate, which increases after prolonged exercise, includes the activities of BDNF promoters, particularly promoter 1, which is activity dependent. We have discovered that the action of beta hydroxybutyrate is specifically upon HDAC2 and HDAC3, which act upon selective BDNF promoters. Moreover, the effects upon hippocampal BDNF expression were observed after direct ventricular application of beta hydroxybutyrate. Electrophysiological measurements indicate that beta hydroxybutyrate causes an increase in neurotransmitter release, which is dependent upon the TRKB receptor. These results reveal an endogenous mechanism to explain how physical exercise leads to the induction of BDNF. And therefore, that's not too unreasonable, is it? So I'm going to copy that abstract, and I'm going to post that up on, where do I post it? I'm going to go ahead and post it up on my Facebook page, which is a good place. If you're really interested in any of the topics that I talk about, then the Facebook page is definitely where you do want to grow. And I did that already. I posted it up there. I'm going to post it up one more time. And then we're going to go next to a second article that I have here. The second article is from Wikipedia. And this from Wikipedia is Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor. I'm not a big fan of Wikipedia, but for science issues, it can be, not always, but it can be very helpful. Here's what I'm going to read from Wikipedia. It's Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor is the name of this page. Here's what they have to say at Wikipedia. And I'm posting this up to the various sites, and there it is. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, or albuminurin. Albuminurin is a protein that in humans is encoded by the BDNF gene. BDNF is a member of the neurotrophin family of growth factors, which are related to the canonical nerve growth factor, a family which also includes NT3 and NT4 and NT5 neurotropic factors are found in the brain and the periphery. BDNF was first isolated from a pig brain in 1982 by Yves Alain Bard and Hans Thoenen. BDNF activates the TRKB tyrosine kinase receptor. Function. BDNF acts on certain neurons of the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system expressing TRKB, helping to support survival of existing neurons and encouraging growth and differentiation of new neurons and synapses. In the brain, it is active in the hippocampus, the cortex, and basal forebrain, areas vital to learning, memory, and higher thinking. BDNF is also expressed in the retina, kidneys, prostate, motor neurons, and skeletal muscle, and is also found in saliva. BDNF itself is important for long-term memory. Although the vast majority of neurons in the mammalian brain are formed prenatally, parts of the adult brain retain the ability to grow new neurons from neural stem cells in a process known as neurogenesis. Neurotrophins are proteins that help to stimulate and control neurogenesis, BDNF being one of the most active. Mice born without the ability to make BDNF have developmental defects in the brain and sensory nervous system and usually die soon after birth, suggesting that BDNF plays an important role in normal neural development. Other important neurotrophins structurally related to BDNF include NT3, NT4, and NGF, neurotrophic growth factor. BDNF is made in the endoplasmic reticulum and secreted from dense core vesicles. It binds carboxypeptidase E, CPE, and disruption of this binding has been proposed to cause the loss of sorting BDNF into dense core vesicles. The phenotype for BDNF knockout mice can be severe, including postnatal lethality. Other traits include sensory neuron losses that affect coordination, balance, hearing, taste, and breathing. Knockout mice also exhibit cerebellar abnormalities and an increase in the number of sympathetic neurons. Certain types of physical exercise have been shown to markedly threefold increase BDNF synthesis in the human brain, a phenomenon which is partly responsible for exercise-induced neurogenesis and improvements in cognitive function. Niacin appears to upregulate BDNF and tropomyosin receptor kinase B expression as well. So that goes through enough of that. It gets a little more technical. It starts to talk about the mechanism of action, TRKB, LNGFR, and expression, BDNF, AS. It goes into all these are subtopics. Common synapses and single nucleotide polymorphisms in BDNF gene function. All of that is well and good, but I do not have the patience to learn that much today. I'm going to close this out with just 2 paragraphs. Dendritogenesis. Local interaction of BDNF with the TRKB receptor on a single dendritic segment is able to stimulate an increase in PSD95 trafficking to other separate dendrites, as well as to the synapses of local stimulated neurons. And neurogenesis laboratory studies indicate that BDNF may play a role in neurogenesis. BDNF can promote protective pathways and inhibit damaging pathways in the NSCs and NPCs that contribute to the brain's neurogenic response by enhancing cell survival. This becomes especially evident following suppression of TRKB's activity. TRKB inhibition results in a 2 to 3-fold increase in cortical precursors displaying EGFP positive condensed apoptotic nuclei and a 2 to 4-fold increase in cortical precursors that stained immunopositive for cleaved capase 3. BDNF can also promote NSC and NPC proliferation through AKT activation and PTN activation. Let me stop all that. Some studies show that BDNF may promote neuronal differentiation. All of that to say that. Next article I'm going to pull up. Did you get that link to that one from Wikipedia? Yes, I did give you the link. And ain't nobody responding to me at this point. But I do, and I'm proud of you all. I do have a larger audience for today's conversation than what we would normally have. And for you to stick around, I'm telling you, for you to stick around this long to talk about science at this level, to say the least, I'm really quite proud of you all, very much so. So give yourselves a pat on the back. That's right. I am proud of you. Let me just write it. I am proud of you all for sticking, STICKI, with me on this complex research. I do mean that. So let's go forward. We got a few more minutes here, and I've got a few more articles I pulled up. I'm not going to be able to get through all of it, but we're going to do the best we can. I did that one already. There's no need to be repeated. This one is from the National Institutes of Health.gov website. This is from the Archives of Medical Science Journal, December 11th, 2015. The article is entitled Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor and Its Clinical Implications, written by Surisha Bathina and Undurti in Das. Here's what the abstract has to say. It's not very long. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, plays an important role in neuronal survival and growth. It serves as a neurotransmitter modulator and participates in neuronal plasticity, which is essential for learning and memory. It is widely expressed in the CNS, central nervous system, the gut, and other tissues. BDNF binds to its high affinity receptor, TRKB, tyrosine kinase B, and activates signal transduction cascades, IRS1 and 2, P13K, AKT. Activate signal transduction cascades crucial for Krebs and CRP production. That encodes proteins involved in beta cell survival. BDNF and insulin-like growth factor 1 have similar downstream signaling mechanisms incorporating both P, which is pro-CAMK, and MAPK that increase the expression of both of pro-survival genes. Increase the expression of pro-survival genes. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor regulates glucose and energy metabolism and prevents exhaustion of beta cells. Decreased levels of BDNF are associated with neurodegenerative diseases, with neuronal loss such as Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, multiple sclerosis, and Huntington's disease. Thus, BDNF may be useful in the prevention and management of several diseases, including diabetes mellitus. Now, it goes on and on and on. It's a research article from a medical journal. I'm going to give you access to the article. Let me see, can I get the title in too? Yes, I can. I'm going to post this up here. Here is the title, copy, go into this address. I'm going to go to the front of this, paste that in there, and then I'm going to copy the whole thing, and I'm going to paste this up into Rumble. I'm going to paste this up on my Facebook page. And I'm going to paste this up also here on my Facebook page. And I'm going to paste this also up on the the YouTube page. So there it is in 4 different places, the same article. And we're going to go into the next article. Let me see. I'm going to go to the article I was just reading from and see if I can get the summary page. So let me go to, because that was just the abstract. Let's see if we can get the summary to this long article. It's a lot of pages. And I'm going to be copying, cutting, and pasting this whole article. So the clinical significance of BDNF, conclusions, and future perspectives. BDNF receptor activity not only enhanced neurogenesis, but also suppressed apoptosis, along with modulation in synaptic activity by a variety of signaling cascades. The participation of BDNF in the pathogenesis of cardiovascular diseases and diabetes mellitus by its critical role in inflammation, glucose, and lipid metabolism is rather interesting. BDNF deficiency is associated with increased weight in mice and humans, and BDNF administration can reduce food intake and increase energy expenditure. Thus, BDNF seems to have an important role in several neurological diseases and type 2 diabetes mellitus. The central role of BDNF as a cytoprotective molecule may explain why it is involved in neurological disorders in type 2 diabetes mellitus. In both instances, the ability of BDNF to protect neuronal cells and pancreatic beta cells seems to be the fundamental mechanism of its action. Yet its precise role in brain development, physiology, and pathology of neurological disorders is still not clear. Studies that investigate in depth the vascular and metabolic effects of BDNF and other neurotrophins in neuroplasticity and survival may be crucial to understand the physiology of BDNF. In this context, it is noteworthy that BDNF is secreted by the gut and several other tissues, which suggests that it may have a role in several diseases, including the diseases of the gut. In future attempts to increase local or systemic BDNF production by the use of cofactors such as vitamin B12 and dexamethasone, which are known to upregulate its expression, may be attempted while evaluating the clinical applications of BDNF in some of the clinical conditions in which it is likely to play a major role. A better understanding of the role of this endogenous peptide in health and disease may pave the way to exploit BDNF as a novel therapeutic agent for neurodegenerative and metabolic diseases. Wow. I most certainly do agree with what they are concluding there. I like the article. I like it. I like it because it talked about the natural things that we can do. In the article, I just read just the abstract and the summary. I skipped the overwhelming majority of the article, and then there are references for the article. There are a total of 146 peer review references. Wow, 146 references. I would say that this is going to be a wonderful addition to my long-term knowledge, wisdom, and information. So I'm going to save this document, copy, cut, and paste, print this one as an Adobe Acrobat, and it's 39 pages long, or I was just excerpting from. And I'm going to go ahead and save it, all 39 pages of it, to my documents file. And you know, my head's going to explode one day. There's so much of this information in it. That was a very good article. There are a couple more here. I'm going to just skim through them. The human BDNF gene, peripheral gene expression, and protein levels as biomarkers for psychiatric disorders. The abstract says, Brain-derived neurotrophic factor regulates the survival and growth of neurons and influences synaptic efficiency and plasticity. The human BDNF gene consists of 11 exons, and distinct BDNF transcripts are produced through the use of alternative promoters and splicing events. The majority of the BDNF transcripts can be detected not only in the brain, but also in the blood cells, although no study has yet investigated the differential expression of BDNF transcripts at the peripheral level. This review provides a description of the human BDNF gene structure, as well as a summary of clinical and preclinical evidence supporting the role of BDNF in the pathogenesis of psychiatric disorders. We will discuss several mechanisms as possibly underlying BDNF modulation, including epigenetic mechanisms. We will also discuss the potential use of peripheral BDNF as a biomarker for psychiatric disorders, focusing on the factors that can influence BDNF as gene expression and at the protein levels. Within this context, we have also characterized, for we believe, the first time, the expression of BDNF transcripts in the blood with the aim to provide novel insights into the molecular mechanisms and signaling that may regulate peripheral BDNF gene expression levels. And this is real good information. It's going to go on, that goes into the article then at that point, but I'm going to skip down to, can I get a witness? Ha! I want to get down to the summary and the conclusion. Several lines of evidence suggest that BDNF may represent a key factor in the pathogenesis of different psychiatric disorders. Although the exact mechanisms underlying this relationship remain to be fully established, epigenetic factors such as DNA methylation and miRNAs may be involved. Moreover, BDNF exons 4 and 9 represent the most abundant transcripts in peripheral blood, suggesting their key role in BDNF regulation at the peripheral level. On these bases, the analysis of these transcripts may provide novel insights into the mechanisms contributing to BDNF modulation under pathologic conditions, as well as during pharmacological treatments. And it's going to go on one more paragraph. Importantly, as we have addressed in this review, peripheral BDNF gene expression and protein levels in serum or plasma have been consistently found dysregulated in several psychiatric disorders, including major depressive disorder, schizophrenia, BD, and I don't know what BD stands for, and anxiety disorders. Thus, peripheral BDNF levels cannot be considered as a biomarker for specific clinical manifestations and psychiatric symptoms. BDNF splice variants, in turn, could represent more specific peripheral biomarkers for a differentiated diagnosis of psychiatric disorders. Indeed, specific BDNF isoforms are modulated in specific signals and could represent possible useful biomarkers associated with a differential diagnosis. But this needs further investigation. However, our hypothesis is that the presence of reduced BDNF levels observed across several psychiatric disorders could represent a transdiagnostic biomarker, indicator of reduced neuroplasticity and ability in stress-related coping mechanisms, which are features reported to be altered in all of these psychiatric disorders. Wow, that was good stuff. And let me just point to you how many peer review there are references are used in this one. There are 114 peer review references. We got a lot to learn. There's just so much powerful knowledge that is out here for us to learn from. We can do this. Others are doing it, so we can do it too. I want to thank you all for being a part of today's conversation. It has been awesome. I do this full time every day now. Not at this level. This was at a very intense level. Some days I got to just ease up and we're just going to talk about stuff. But today we had the opportunity to learn some very, very important information. So on that note, I want to thank you all for paying attention to today's conversation. You've been tuned into your favorite. I want to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV. We are livinginblack.com. And I will highly recommend that you keep tuned. Stay with us for just a week. If you tune in for a week, you will definitely increase your productivity of your brain-derived neurotrophic factor and put it to good use. So on that note, I want to thank you for tuning in to your favorite. We want to be your favorite. The books are out. When we talk about brain-derived neurotrophic factor, I can just go through the 8 books I've done since December. Very proud to have this set of new books added to my library. I'm 60 books now. I do talk about BDNF and Most of the books on health, the books include Living Superfood Solutions, dietary strategies that prevent and reverse common chronic diseases. I do talk about BDNF in the book, The Stem Cell Revolution. We did talk about stem cells today, the there's a word, neurogenesis stem cells, and glial stem cells, which are part of our brain. And we talked about other sources of stem cells. The other books that I talk about, these are all health related. There is Standard Omission, which is really more of a history book, but we do talk about health and nutrition in this history book, Standard Omission, the African scientific roots of Greco-Roman medicine. Hey, listen, we do history. History is very important to who we are and where we're going. I do encourage you to get the book, A Year Against Cancer. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor is thrown off its course by high consumption of sugar, and the same behaviors are related to cancer. The creation of cancer and sugar are directly involved. And then there's another book on all of this, and I do specifically mention brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This book is Suicide, the book. After the movie came out 10 years ago, Suicide, the movie. Now it's Suicide, the book. Food so tasty it is to die for. Suicide, the movie, the book. And then the three other books that I came out with are about other subjects other than health. They include disaster preparedness for World Wars 5 and 6. It includes quantum advancement, spectacular discoveries along the magnificent pathway, the quantum leap. And let me tell you, once we get to quantum, we're going to have all of this brain-derived neurotrophic factor incorporated in the solutions that we are going to be using for our quantum advancement. And then the book, The African Future, Empowering a United and Prosperous Africa for Future Generations. When I talk today about what is happening politically in the world, we cannot help but conclude we're going to have to leave. We're going to have to get out. And the sooner we start to take this conversation seriously, the sooner we will act upon it. I'm going to the continent this October to participate in a conference on sustainable living. I will be going there to begin the process of our first, not our first, no, it's actually be our fourth in Ghana, Kujichagulia Village Project. But this time I intend to take it all the way through. And I want you to be a part of what I'm doing. You can be a part of it. I will keep you up to breast at the whole affair. Some of you may even go with me to Ghana. We can do whatever we will to do. We are the richest and most accomplished African people within the borders of any nation on earth. And we're not just limited to United States. No, we are in Canada. We are in the UK. We are across the Caribbean, South America, Central America. It's time that we hook up with our motherland, our continent, and project Africa much further forward. Donald Trump is coming after Africa. Donald Trump is very angry right now that we Africans have the audacity to try and function independently from them. The audacity. So what are we going to do? We're going to do the best we can. I want to thank you all for participating today in LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. I encourage you all to go to our website, libradio.com, and post or go to the front page of libradio.com, and you can become a supporter. Go to www.libradio.com and become a supporter. Scroll down to the bottom of the first page, and you will see the links. Thank you. I'm so very grateful that you are a supporter of LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. It was a good show today. I didn't even have to use my AK, as Ice Cube would say. LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends that we have our own now, and that we aim to change the world based upon what we have learned and what it is that we do as autonomous, wise, and independent people. I am not, you are not, we are not dumbed down. In fact, quite the opposite. We're very, very smart people. So tell your friends to tell their friends to come on board. Let's do this all together. We can do whatever we will to do on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and on livinginblack.com. Now, here's what I'm going to do real quick. And this does, I don't know why. I do know why. It just disconnects. If I leave it on or off, it comes on and it tracks everything. But I can also force it into this. And where are we at? We're going to go into this device, turn on the Bluetooth, capture the device, and we're going to reconnect it. We're going to disconnect it. No, I'm not. Let's just go ahead and hit the play, and it will connect in just a second. On your favorite, we aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV. We are livinginblack.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends to come on board now. Let's build together, grow together, and let's change the future, at least for ourselves and for our children. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you.